Hey everybody, welcome to Workforce Gaming. I'm Brad, here with Doug.
Hey.
Super Mario RPG has been resurrected after 25 years? 24 years? It was late 90s. Mid to late 90s.
Yeah.
Whatever the time frame was. This is going to be a very biased review because this is one of those games that in my mind is flawless. I played through it several times on the Super Nintendo. It was my first real RPG. It is a game that I literally turned it on and was like, oh yeah, I played it. I maybe beat it 2 or 3 times, and then I played it again. It got re-released on the Wii U. I played through maybe half of it then, and it was one of those things where as I started going through this, I was like, oh, I remember beat for beat, world for world. I think this was one of those ones that just as a kid where it's I have one game for these 3 months.
Yeah.
So I think it was one of those things where I probably beat this game 5 to 10 times, or at least played halfway through it 5 to 10 times as a kid. So super just going to throw that out there that I absolutely love this game, and I think this remake is borderline flawless, and we'll just go from there. Now,
Brad, you sound so nervous because I also played this game. I have zero nostalgia for it, and I have not told Brad how I felt about this game.
I literally, I pre-ordered day one, all that stuff, and I was like, going on and on about Doug, and literally 2 days after it came out, you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go play RPG 2, and you're like, and I will wait, what? You bought this? Because in my mind, this is you don't have Nintendo nostalgia like I do, and you're not super huge into turn-based stuff. And this is one of those things where you said that, and I immediately went I had this plan to talk this incredibly positive review that this is one of the greatest games of all time. And Doug's I'm not gonna tell you anything about it till the review.
I think you're very lucky. I think I still should have not even told you I was playing it and then just revealed to this. I played it. I don't like it. Just like you said, you teed me up perfectly. This game is a goddamn delight. I really enjoyed it. I really liked it quite a lot. Yeah, it's really fun. It's a fun game. It's really silly. I like how chaotic it is. Of just random moments. I like how many moments this game has.
Yes.
I like how all the moments seem to not connect to each other whatsoever. And the cast is fun and stupid. Some of them are Mallow is just they're all sweethearts. They're all little cute sweethearts, and it's just really adorable. It's just a fun little game. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. Okay. So, because I before we started recording, I was I would never have recommended this game to you. So
yeah.
Excellent. Anyway,
I was just tired of. I genuinely. I couldn't get a review from somebody who hadn't played it, because there was this game's amazing from people who played it, and I was and I never did. I was okay, I couldn't find a review. So I was that curious just because I just couldn't find a review where somebody had not played it, because it sounded amazing from all the people who did play it.
I think it's one of those games that just so many people, especially in our age, we have a podcast type group of people.
Sure.
This is the game that kind of put us into RPGs. I think it's one of those major turning points in RPGs where it's this became accessible, this became everybody. Mario's now doing it. And again, I think just to kind of dwell on one of the points that you already said, it does feel very interspersed like a Mario game would. Okay, this is the castle world. The castle world is more or less independent of the mine world, and it's kind of the same thing happening here, where it's just each of these areas is these independent things, and it's something you don't see in RPGs because you always want that long meandering adventure story, and this is just nope, we're in a new area now. Where's the star? What's going on in this spot?
I kind of like that, because I felt I liked how nothing really felt of the same world. I feel sometimes in JRPG, when I went to a town, it's this must be one of the few games where I talked to everybody, because everybody had a fun little thing to say. And it wasn't just welcome to our town. This is the town of this. I just feel I see a lot of JRPGs. There's a lot of, I felt there was absolutely zero filler conversations or leading up. It's just here's our weird town and our weird characters. It has nothing to do with the previous town or even the plot most of the time.
This is the weird way that this town works. This town, everybody's super sad all the time. This town, everybody's actually a monster. This town, it's just everything's unique. Everything is just, again, it's a delight. It's just a fun game. There is
Yeah.
very little challenge in this game. It is not gonna like beat you over the head with mechanics. It's just let's sit down and make an accessible RPG that is
Hmm.
amazing, fun, and just for everyone. And it's so perfect. And I like that it kind of plays with some things.
Hmm.
One of my favorite things about this game, and it always has been, is that you start in Bowser's castle. I
Yeah,
just think
yeah,
that's
yeah.
like the most amazing way to start a Mario game because that's always your goal. It's like, how do we get to Bowser's castle? We got to get to Bowser's castle, get to Bowser's castle, get to Bowser's castle. And it's like, all right, we're there.
Yeah, fighting Bowser. I think Bowser's like even like almost like it's like the third fight or something like
Yep.
that. It's like really quick. Yeah.
Yeah. And fighting him on the chains up there, and he's already got Peach, and you basically save Peach within the first 30 minutes of the game. And you're like,
Yeah.
okay, now let's go on from here. Um, just kind of getting into some of the different stuff too, like Mallow. I think Mallow, you're right. Mallow is fun. I love the Mallow. Like
Amazing.
I'm a tadpole is my
Yeah.
favorite thing, and literally like and just like the little like Mario thoughts, the narration. It's like you don't look like a tadpole. I don't know what's wrong with this guy.
Yeah, I like there's a lot of stuff Mallow's like Mallow's amazing.
Yep.
Mallow is so fun because Mallow is dumb but positive.
Oh yeah.
And I just like there's some really cute scenes where like you the player know what's going on and Mallow's just like has no idea what's going on. The game is about Mallow though, I felt like, or not maybe about, but like because that character talks the most, I felt like he was more a main character than Mario or pretty much any other character because he's like he follows you through the entire journey and he has the most conversations and talking and stuff. And he's like a really fun character too.
Yeah, and I think this game does a good job of kind of giving each party member their own goal ultimately in this.
Yeah,
Mario does just kind of almost seem along for the ride at a lot of points in this, where it's like, yeah, I'm Mario,
yeah,
so of course I'm going to help people. But Mallow's trying to figure out where, because obviously you're not a tadpole, and you find that out fairly early on that he's not actually a tadpole.
yeah.
Bowser is trying to like reclaim his glory.
Mhm.
Geno's the one actually going like, no, there are like huge world-ending implications here, and you're just like, and
Yeah.
Mallow's like, but I don't know who my parents are.
Parents are,
And
yeah.
I want
It,
my castle back. No, but
Geno's
seriously,
fun.
guys, it's going to be bad if we don't do this.
Geno's funny because I feel like I could see. I'm actually curious how you felt about it because okay, Geno to me, if I was 10 years old, Geno would be the coolest guy
Oh
ever
yeah,
because he's kind of the straight man for like the plot and
yep,
stuff. He's like, no, we have to collect the star piece, like you're saying. He's like, we have to collect the star pieces, or the world's gonna fall to pieces, or whatever. And everybody else just kind of like a weird cartoon character in this. But like now, it's just like he kind of feels like. I get he needs to be driving the platform, but he kind of feels like a wet blanket on the whole thing.
yeah.
I think he's a cool looking character. I think he's amazing looking. Like that character design is flawless. That is such a
Oh,
cool
especially some
looking
of
character.
the new CG stuff in there with him, where
Yes,
you just
that's
like get
so
some really
good.
good detail. It's so cool.
Yeah. But I felt like him was kind of like more just like he's just playing the straight man in a like a goofy ass world,
Yeah.
which it can sometimes be funny. But like I just like I think a lot of people are like huge fans of him, but like he was not the character. Mallow was definitely like this guy's incredible.
I
Yeah,
think like again, 10-year-old me or 9-year-old me or however old it was,
yeah,
I think in my mind, Mallow was just too goofy almost, where it's like that's just the weird like I don't
yeah.
understand that like why. No, look how cool Geno is. He's got his little gun arms. He's a
He's got gun
puppet. He's
hands.
like, we're gonna go. Like,
Yeah.
10-year-old brain is like, oh, Mallow's sweet. That's not cool.
That's for baby. That's for babies. But now,
Exactly.
yeah.
Mallow's because I'm too little to be playing Final Fantasy, and they want to make sure.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, clearly the star of the show. That
Oh
character
yeah.
for sure.
I also have to. I also one of the things I kind of forgot about is especially the amount or just the fun little goofy mini games in this that
Oh
just
yeah.
just change up the pace. The game. I mean, the game's short. It's 10-12 hours. I think my time was like 9:45, but I kind of knew like, oh yeah, like go in the back door of the castle. Well, it's just right here. Go right here. You know what I mean? So I kind of already had
Yeah.
some of the stuff there, but they break up the pace really well with these fun little mini games where it's just like whether it's sliding down a waterfall or a mine cart, it's just they're constantly coming. They're constantly just kind of fun, goofy, low stakes. Just again that delightful attitude that let's just have fun with this, and they fit so well into this. It's just they're so fun to do,
Yeah.
and they're basically meaningless. You can't fail most of them.
Yeah.
They're just there to just lighten up the mood.
Yeah, and there's sometimes like even with those like mini games, there's like fun little that like the one I'm thinking of particularly. There's like you're falling down a river and you go into like these like holes in the ground or something like that, and they have these like unique individual scenes
Yeah.
where like a little like play almost takes place. It was just interesting. Like the thing I really liked about the game, like there's so many of these like unique moments. It just felt like every time I was playing, like, I was always just constantly surprised by like this new thing, this new unique thing, this one room with this one character with this one joke. And it's just like, and then it's like, oh, this, and the character doesn't matter ever again. Like, so, but like their whole purpose is just to have like a funny joke in that one room.
Yep.
And it's just like the whole game is just like filled with that stuff. Especially when you're saying I like the mini games and stuff. I like that they play a lot with the not just the boss battles, but the battles in general. Like characters will like talk and run away and stuff, and do all sorts of fun, goofy things, or bring in other characters, which I know is like pretty standard for JRPGs. But like it just felt like there's a lot of gags. Which I just like, just gags throughout. Like just this game is just full of gags. I was like genuinely chuckling like most of the time I was playing it, which is it was very funny.
Yeah, the chains ups are good. The one in particular that I've always thought was fun was the one that's like, well, I'm gonna screw with your buttons, and then he has an arrow and he's like,
yes,
you can't hit the A button now, and it's not like. Because, I mean, it's a typical JRPG thing, but it's like, oh no, he's like preventing us from using a physical attack. It's like, nope, no A button for you. It's those kind of plays on things that I think really, really work well in those.
Yeah, it's almost like, it almost plays like a Final Fantasy parody game of sorts, where it's like not taking itself too seriously. I think there was some funny things. I forgot, I don't know how I forgot this, like, but playing it, I forgot it was a Squaresoft game. So it's just like really funny because like a Shy Guy casting death was just like the funniest thing to me. It's just like, I don't think the death works the same way, but they call it like death bells or something like that. I was like, what? And then like, or like you're casting like you're casting Final Fantasy spells. One thing I really like, kind of like small details and gags. One of the funniest, the thing you were talking about for the little CG cutscenes, I really like how they had that sort of like your limit break, so to speak, where they had like different CG cutscenes for that. There was one that made me laugh so hard every time. It's where Bowser, it's called the clown car one or something.
Oh, yeah.
Bowser takes up Mallow and Mario, and they do this funny cut in the animation where they're just suddenly doing they're doing nothing and then suddenly just chucking a ton of shit like really fast. It is so funny. It made me laugh every single time, and it looks gorgeous. It looked gorgeous too. It's just like, it's funny. It's just it's such a weird game. I think that's why I liked it. It's just like, it's just so weird, so chaotic. All these gags, all these weird things. I would hate to be a fan of this game though, because I could definitely see like, why aren't they doing any of this like they did Mario RPG and then never again, like nothing even close to that. Yeah.
I mean, you've got the Mario and Luigi series and the Paper Mario, which are all kind of spiritual successors of this.
Kinda, yeah.
I mean, Paper Mario kind of tries to take that goofy tone, but I don't think.
Yeah.
I think this almost handles it more seriously than like a Paper Mario. Paper Mario still kind of has like a little bit of that like goofiness. This has goofiness too, but I think they're trying to embody that tone in Paper Mario, and it's just not there. And Mario and Luigi kind of takes that button pushing gameplay aspect of it. So I feel like they kind of got separated. I don't know. It is one of those things where it's this very cool relic in time that I think nobody ever really emulated properly. There was never anything else like this. And I think that's why it's always kind of stood the test of time, even though, I mean, I played it in the 90s. I played it once on the Wii U, but it's always kind of held that place in my mind of like, this is one of my favorite RPGs because I have a hard time coming up with a comparable game for it.
Yeah, it's got a bite to it that I think that the other games didn't have, and you can kind of feel that, and it feels erratic in ways that games aren't allowed to be anymore. Yep. Like you can't have all these totally disconnected worlds that feel like they were just made by different teams entirely and kind of smash them together. And that's, I can definitely feel, I think that's like, that was some of the unique stuff to me. And like the character design is like really crazy. Like I've played Mario and Luigi games. So like I do understand that that's kind of where it came from, but like the characters in this game are like crazy. Like they're just insane characters. One of the other things I really liked is, it took me a while to get the gag. Mario games don't have weapons in them. So the alternate universe sort of world-ending thing is the introductions of like weapons. Yeah, weapons to Mario Universe. So I was like, oh, that's such a neat idea.
Yeah, it's that taking it and making it more serious because now we're adding in this weapons, these like kind of more like terrifying, serious things. It's no longer just jumping on things. That's another thing, just really quick, is the every time you meet somebody, like, you're not Mario. Bling! Whoa, you jump so high. It's just
you do a lot of jumping.
This is your
to
one characteristic. Mario's one characteristic is you can jump. And if somebody sees you jump, they're like, oh, of course you're Mario. Look at you jump. And just, again, one more other gag, and then I want to talk about gameplay really quick and a couple of the changes they made. the gag of like explaining things in the acting sequences every time.
Yes.
Biggest smile
Where,
on my
where they
face every
where
time.
they swap sprites or whatever. Is
Yep.
that what you're talking about?
No, no,
Yes.
no. Where
Oh,
like you go into a town and you're like, what are you doing here? And it's like, and it's like Mario like acts out. And it's like, and the whole world shakes. And then like
yeah.
Bowser's crying in the corner, and Peach goes, and it's Mario just spinning around acting this whole thing out. It's my favorite.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Because when Mario wants to explain another character, he just like magically turns into the other
Oh yeah,
character
yeah,
for a
yeah.
second, and then magically turns back. It's so funny. I think it's funny because like it makes more sense as a sprite gag, but as like a 3D model, it almost makes it more funny. I really really like that. Yeah, that's so great.
Yeah. So just to get into gameplay really quick here,
Yeah.
it's super simple. The limit breaks are new, and it was kind of a weird thing to add in just because I kind of felt like it was like unnecessary. It really oversimplified a lot of the battles because it's like, okay, I went in with my 100% gauge, so basically you attack, you defend, you have a timing button press, and if you do that your gauge goes up. Once you hit 100 you get a limit break basically, and it almost felt like to the point where it's like, okay, if I just go into a boss battle, like I instantly have like 500 damage the second a boss battle starts because you can kind of stack
Sure.
it before you go in. It's not a tough game, it's not supposed to be a tough game, it's just one of those things where it's like, I don't need a limit break because it's in a Final Fantasy game, like you're trying to build to that limit break because it really feels like that's what I need to finish this boss.
Yeah.
Whereas this is just like, all right, fine, I'll just do my limit break and I'll kind of get a head start.
With the question I did have on changes, I really like the rhythm game. Did the rhythm combo, is that a new one? Because I actually really like that, where if you timed your button presses, then you get like this kind of like this not the meter, but like you get a combo thing that's kind of going like 1 combo, 2 combo, 3 combo.
That's new, yeah.
And and I like that it carried between fights because
Yeah.
it made me more conscientious of like making sure to keep that combo high. I really like that part.
Yes, I agree. Because I think that it made those in between battles where you're like, oh yeah, this is just 4 attacks and I'm done with this battle. It made those have some weight to it. It's like, oh, okay, I have a good combo. Like, so let's keep this rolling so I get my stat boost.
Yeah, it felt really cool, like just like destroying people because I knew I had a high combo.
Yeah.
But I really like that the characters and like there's so many ways that they're trying to break that combo. So you really have to know the rhythm of like every character's attack,
Yep.
and if they get a new weapon, you have to learn that rhythm of the attack. You have to learn the attack of the people attacking you, so you defend right. And they did a lot of like kind of fake out stuff where like
Yeah, where the enemy
character
runs
kinda,
up
like,
to you and shakes.
yes, or does a little dance before punching you. Yeah. I love that rhythm combat because it did kind of always keep you on your toes, trying to keep that combo up. But I think that reward for keeping your combo up is that limit break. And
Yeah.
I'd have to disagree because the limit break CG cutscenes were so good.
I mean, they were impressive.
They were all incredible. Yeah.
Mechanically, I don't think it was
Sure.
needed. The cutscenes I think were one of the cooler things, just because again, so much of this is redone in those CG cutscenes that just they look incredible. They're super impressive. One of the other things I also have always really liked about this game, and it's one of those things that always drives me a little bit crazy in other JRPGs, is you pretty much are guaranteed to get all of your moveset in this, just because by level like 18, and I was probably level 20 or something when I was done.
Yeah, I was the same. Yeah.
But by level 17, 18, everybody has their maxed out skills. So it's just you actually are able to get those and use those, where I feel like a lot of other JRPGs, it's like, okay, I basically finished the game. All right, I'll grind to get these last 4 skills. I'll use them once in the final boss, and okay, I'm done with the game unless I want to go back through and redo other things. This is like, okay, no, in our main story, you actually are able to access all of your moveset, and you still have time to use it before the end of the game, which I think is a good, again, simplification of a lot of RPG mechanics, and I think it works well in this. Again, I can see the argument for not being in more quote-unquote serious JRPGs, but it works very well in this.
The one thing I didn't like about the skills, and tell me this felt weird, is that so they did look like an enemy weakness sort of system where like you hit them with lightning, they're weak to that, they're weak to like certain things, but like you never had like level 1 of like fire, ice, whatever. You just had like a super strong ice spell or a super weak lightning spell or like a middling fire spell, and I didn't like that at all because it really felt like I just want to hit one guy with like a weak fire spell or like a weak snow spell, let's say a weak ice spell.
Yeah, because you get Mallow's big snowman, like 18 FP for the snowman.
Yeah, exactly. It costs like so much of your like magic points or whatever. What's the FP? I actually don't know what FP stands. It's MP.
Flower points.
Oh, Flower Points. So cute. So cute. This game is so adorable all the time. It's so funny.
And again, I get that, but I think that's again the simplification of it, where it's like, okay, we're not gonna give every character has what, maybe 5 spells, I think,
Yeah.
right around there,
Something like that. Yeah.
versus again like a Final Fantasy where it's by the end, okay, I've had 7.
True.
My black mage, I have to scroll through 6 pages of spells to get to my ultimate super powerful fire spell because I've got
Yeah.
4 pages of page 1 of level 1, page and it's like, no, I just want boom done. So again, that simplification piece there. And honestly, like, you can get through this game 90% just physical attacks if you get your button pressed.
Yeah.
You don't really need the spells.
Yeah.
I mean, if you use Geno boost, you basically like ultimately win every fight if you do Geno boost. Like that's the trick to the game. If you're stuck, just do Geno boost every fight.
Yeah. I totally forgot what I was gonna say. Oh no. Yeah. So I guess for me the combat was kind of the combat's not like the weakest part. It's like fun combat, but like every time there was like a dungeon section, I was glad the dungeons were short because it means I got to the next like story goofy sequence.
Yep.
So it felt like it felt like just the combat in general was like a way to get to the next part rather than being like this like really interesting or fun part. I think to me it's like the rhythm stuff is like mostly that to me is like the standout stuff is like that rhythm thing is like really cool, but otherwise the combat was kind of like, all right, let's just get to the next Toad Village so I can see what goofy shit's going on there.
I mean, they do make a lot of it. You can skip a lot of combat in this and be fine. There were 1 or 2 dungeons where it's like, all right, I'm good. All right, just dodge enemies all the way through, and again because again, it's fairly straightforward. It's fairly simple. You can get through without grinding. You don't have to fight every enemy, and you can still have a pretty solid skill point or like level up to where you need to be for the end of the game if you skip a lot of things. Good way to kind of nerf it too if you're feeling a little overpowered is just stop fighting people for a dungeon or 2.
Yeah, that's fair. That's what I was kind of doing. Oh, one thing we didn't talk about, I know we're trying to wrap it up. This game is freaking gorgeous. This is like the best looking Switch game I've ever played. I was shocked how good of Remake this was. That like just like the level of effort, just like high level, how much it looks insane.
And it didn't, when it came initially like got revealed, like it didn't feel like this big, it never had this feeling with this remaster or remake or whatever like you get with some of the other ones where it's like, no, we are like pumping this, like this is our big thing, like we're bringing this back. It's like, oh yeah, all you 30-year-old nerds want your stupid RPG here. Fine, we remade it. Here's 2 trailers. Go play it. Like it didn't have that like huge push that I feel like just a comparable in my mind Final Fantasy VII Remake has, where it's like, no, you're getting 6 years of marketing for this. You're getting 8,000 trailers, and I mean even stuff like Last of Us Part 2 remaster was just announced a little bit ago. Like I feel like they've already gone like way out of their way to explain why that's a better game now than this one ever got. It was just like, no, here you go. It's fine. It looks pretty. Yeah, we added limit breaks. Have a good time.
Yeah, like I remember seeing the trailer and like, because I remember you were going like crazy for it. People were going crazy. I was looking at it going like, it kind of looks like Mario RPG. But like playing this like in my hand, I was like, it's really, really slick looking. And I really like how they kind of emulated 90s CG. So it has like darker shadows than you would normally have, because that's usually like what the older sort of pre-rendered stuff looked like. It's just like a really gorgeous game, and like all the cutscenes and stuff look fantastic. I think that was like, and I think I really love that in concert with how chaotic the game is, because it's really fun to do kind of like a goofy looking thing, making the goofy looking thing look really, really good. It always makes it fun. It's always fun. It always makes it like a little funnier too. Yeah.
Always fun. Go play it. There is no excuse on earth that anybody.
Yeah, it's great.
I mean, there's probably an excuse that you shouldn't play this, but it is. I mean, it holds up. It's one of those games where, in my mind, it fell off of my, like, if I were to tell you top 10 games, just 'cause I hadn't played it in so long. It's like, it can't be that good, but oh boy, is it. Oh boy, is it that good. But we are Workforce Gaming. Try and get new videos out every Monday. Subscribe to our channel. Leave a comment below. We'll see you later.
Bye.